It has been a while since I stayed at a youth hostel, I think it's fair to say, but that all changed a couple of nights ago when I checked into the Youth Hostel Association Manorbier, which is just there behind me. I've stayed here for 2 nights, and there are plenty of pros and cons of staying in a hostel, which we'll discuss a little bit later on in the video. But the main pro, and the reason I stayed here, was price. It is £35 a night. And when you compare that to other accommodation in the area, I was looking around trying to find something a couple of weeks back, and the next cheapest I could find was £75 a night. So this is way more than half the price. Also, a quick disclaimer, in this video we will not be walking the entire length of the Pembrokeshire Coastal Path. It is a long pathway all around the southwest corner of Wales, but instead I'll be taking you down to the coastline, which is just a few hundred metres away. There's a few sites I want to show you, and I will be telling you about that coastal path. It is legendary in this area, and maybe one day I will be back to walk the entire thing. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is take you inside the youth hostel. I'll show you my dormitory, I'll give you a quick tour and give you a sense of what it's like to stay here at the hostel. Well, welcome to my humble abode. I am now inside my dormitory. It is a 4-bed male only dormitory, and I have lucked out for the last couple of nights because I have been the only person in here, so pretty much it's been private for my use only. There is a shower room that is shared amongst the 4 people staying in here. It has a toilet, a sink and a shower cubicle, so fairly basic, but to be fair, it's all you need. So let me quickly show you around the room. There are 2 bunks, 4 beds in total, so there's person number 1. Number 2 up there, that's where I've been sleeping. You've got to go to the top if you get the chance. Person number 3 and person number 4. Each bed gets its own console. So we've got a tray up here. We've got a light. There we go, works perfectly. And a socket with 2 USB chargers included as well. Over in the corner we have 2 cabinets consisting of some hanging space at the top and then a lockable cabinet down here at the bottom. This is where you put all of your personal belongings and valuables, and there is a place here where you can put a padlock so you can make sure that it is completely safe when you're out and about, not in the room. You do have to remember that you are not at a hotel, so you don't get all of the mod cons. There's no daily cleaning service, there's no TV, there's no fridge, there's no kettle, no coffee, no tea. In fact, in most hostels, including this one, you don't even get towels, so don't forget to bring your own if you're staying at a hostel whilst you're away. So let's take a look out of the window. We have some nice greenery, some lovely looking pallets, but more importantly, we got some blue sky going on up there, so I'll tell you about the rest of the hostel once we get outside. A little bit windy, but great conditions for walking. So before I head down to sea level, thought I would tell you a little bit more about the hostel. So first of all, food. There is a cafe on site. They do breakfast, lunch and dinner. I've been having my breakfast there each morning. It is a buffet. I've gone continental, not the cooked stuff, but there is coffee, juices, cereals, pastries and fruit. I think it's about £6 for a continental and about £10 for a cooked breakfast. They also do lunch, and I had my dinner there last night. I called when I was about half an hour away and they started cooking me a chicken burger and chips, which I had when I got back. Can tell you that went down a treat. There's also this really interesting quiet room that looks more like an internal conservatory with a glass roof, plants all over it, a well-stocked bookshelf and plenty of soft seating so you can just chill out there and relax. And outside, as I found out this morning, there are glamping pods and camping facilities. So if that's what you want to do, then it is all here as well, and a pretty decent sized free car park. So all good. Gotta say, my experience of staying at a hostel has been very positive, and I would definitely do it again, especially if the price is so much cheaper than surrounding accommodation. Right, I am going to get on that coastal path. We're going to take a look at a couple of things, and then I will tell you about the great Pembrokeshire Coastal Pathway. So there are two incredible sites less than a couple of 100 metres from the hostel, and the first one I think may be down these steps. We have ourselves a high tide, lots of stones being washed up, and what I wanted to show you is over there. There we go, it's called the Church Door. It is essentially a archway in the rock, and it reminds me a lot of the former Azure window in Gozo, Malta. Unfortunately that one came tumbling down after a heavy storm. This one very much still there, but who knows how long it will last until Mother Nature reclaims it. Okay, wasn't expecting that. Previously it was possible to get to a nearby beach called Skrinkle Beach by following the rocks around the bay, but unfortunately when tide comes in it cuts you off and leaves you stranded on that beach, and I'm guessing the emergency services had enough of getting called out, so they have now blocked access. So I'm going to head up here and see if we can get some views of it from another vantage point. I've made it a little further along now, and it turns out my sources were correct. As a fly sitting on my hand. The pathway going down to the beach, the little cove that I was just referring to, is closed from up here as well because of unsafe conditions and falling rocks. So we won't be able to get down there, but I did get some nice looks down onto it from up here. Just another one of those incredible places here on the Welsh coast. It is called Skrinkle Haven Beach for your information. And chances are by the time you come here that footpath will be repaired and back opened again, so give it a look if you're out this way. What I'm going to do now though is walk another couple of miles up the coast, and I'm going to tell you about that coastal pathway. So, let's talk about the Pembrokeshire Coastal Pathway. It is a designated national trail, and it was established in 1970. If you want to walk the whole thing, it is 186 miles long. That's 299 kilometres. So you're going to have to split it into sizable chunks. And over the course of that distance, there are 35,000 feet. That's 11,000 metres of ascent and descent. The trail took 17 years to complete, mainly because of the hundreds of bridges that needed to be installed, the 479 stiles that needed adding, the liaising with private landowners to ensure that the route was legal and took into consideration local people, and all of the steps that needed carving into the rocks to make sure that the entire route was accessible. If you walk the trail from start to end, you'll pass 58 beaches like the one behind me here and 14 harbours. As I was coming around that last corner of the coastal path, I saw from a distance this magnificent castle from afar, so I thought I would come and take a closer look. It is Manorbier Castle and it is open to the public. However, I won't be going inside because I am fixing to head back to the car and get on the road I want to drive some more of this epic coastal route today and see if I can make it up to the southwest corner of the Pembrokeshire coastline. And just before I do that, let me tell you that the Pembrokeshire Coastal Trail goes from St Dogmiles in the north to Amroth in the south, which is not too far from Tenby. It's a place I drove through just a few days ago in my Tenby adventure. And believe it or not, this trail is part of an even larger trail called the Wales Coastal Path, and that goes on for 870 miles, 1400 kilometers. Unbelievable. Right, I think I am going to head, as I said, back to the car now. We are going to see some more of this incredible coastline, but I'm going to put it in another video. So if you want to join me for that, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you there.